AI, this tool that everybody's talking about, and how can we use it for our health? So I'm Dr. Tiffany Keenan, and I want you to begin to understand a little bit more about AI, artificial intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence? These sorts of tools that we have. These tools are able to take large amounts of information, recognize patterns, and then to respond to your questions in a very well-informed way. Think of it as your side-by-side research buddy. You know, when I started out in medicine, well, we had to go to the library with cards to find information. And then we had access to databases online where we could go and search out research articles. And now I can ask my friend ChatGPT to go and do a deep dive into thousands of research articles and do this information for me. So basically, this is what it's doing. It's a research assistant, but it can be used in so many ways to help you in your health. And I think these are tools that you want to know about if you want to make things simpler for you. It's not taking over control, but it can make your life simpler in many ways. So what are people using? So I use ChatGPT primarily. I also use Gemini. These both come in free versions, but there are many other versions that are out there. So literally all you need to do is go to either of those names, go to the App Store, download it, and then you're going to have it. And as you'll see in my post, you can use ChatGPT for fun things like to create images, which I use now, as you can see, in my social media. But there's so much more beyond that. So how is this learning? You know, how does AI work? So basically, there were programmers that went and through hours and hours and hours, they took tons of information and plugged it into computers. So this is why there's so much large databases that are inside these computers. The one thing to know about AI is that it works better when you ask better questions. So right now, my AI tool is beginning to know me. I have the paid version and I give it a lot of input so it knows the way that I'm thinking. It kind of knows a little bit of my philosophy. I've told it that information and then it's feeding back to me. Okay, so it's like a mirror of what you put in. It's not taking control. It's not taking ownership, and that's not what you want, but you want to give it to have some feedback, okay? So the clearer input that you give is going to be the better output that comes for you, okay? Again, this is not to take away your power. It's to actually add to and enhance your life. So where does AI, how is the best way that it can help with your health? So this is primarily what we want to think about. So where I see the AI coming in is in tools of habit formation, awareness of your own body, and also structure of your own body so that you can more fully understand what's going on. Because knowledge is power. And when you know better, you do better, okay? So where are some of the easy wins when I think that it comes to AI? So number one is with food and nutrition. So I am a nutritionist. I went to McGill for 5 years, studied nutrition, and back then I would open up the book, I would look at carbohydrates, protein, and fat in food. I'd write it all down, I'd tally it up with a calculator, and I'd calculate meal plans for people, right? You don't need to do that anymore. This is something so easily that can be done on your own. So one easy thing that you can start to do if you want to begin to play around with ChatGPT is start with building an awareness of what's going on in your body. So all you have to do once you download the app is pick up your app and say, you know, I read online, this doctor, she says, and you can talk into the app, you don't even have to type. She says that I want to get more awareness of my body and my food to see how I'm doing right at the moment. So then for 3 days in a row, what I would get you to do, you can say, I want to do a 3-day food diary. I want you to track everything that I'm eating to give an overall idea of what my starting point is. Okay? So every day you pick up your phone in the morning, you say what you had for breakfast, lunch, and supper. You can even take a picture of what you're eating, okay? And the more that you can say the exact amounts, the more it's going to be able to give you a good calculation. And so then at the end of the 3 days, you're going to ask it, I want an analysis. So a lot of people know what the words are called macros. So macros are protein, carbohydrates, and fat. So this describes all the nutrients that are in what we eat. So you could ask it to describe your macros, okay? Or you could just say, am I eating a healthy, balanced diet? So then you have the data, right? So you're going to have an interpretation based on you, what you're doing with your body right now, and what your nutrition needs are. So then you have a few options. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to increase protein because your personal trainer told you this. Or maybe you want to just have more whole foods in your diet. So you can ask the algorithm to set you up for this. How would this work? So for example, if you want to lose weight, so after you did your 3 days and it's going to have an input of where you're at, then you could say to ChatGPT, okay, ChatGPT, I weigh 160 pounds. I want to get to 130 pounds. I just want to lose 1 pound a week. Can you help me come up with more food plans based on what my food habits are? And so then through the algorithm, it's going to give you information, right? It's an information output based on the data that you're giving into it. And then at the end of the week, you can ask it to readjust based on where your weight is. If you don't like certain meals that it gives you, you can say, I don't like dairy, I don't like broccoli. Can you give me some substitutions? And it will. Remember, it's got like tetrabytes, billions of bytes of data in there. And it's able to give you so many suggestions, especially when it comes to things like meals, okay? And again, that would be an example if you're trying to lose weight. So say you're just going to go and you want to cook at nighttime. So I've used this before. I said, I don't know what I'm going to cook this evening. I'm going to go to my fridge. I open my phone up. I talk into my phone. I say, okay, I've got eggs, I've got cheese, I've got potatoes, and I've got a few carrots. Can you give me some recipes that I can make tonight with these foods? And then it will give me some recipes. Now, sometimes I don't like the first recipe it gives me, and I'll say, okay, I don't want to bake something in the oven. I just want to cook it in a frying pan. Can you give me some more options? So there, within 5 minutes, you have a recipe toolkit that can save you going through all the recipe books that you have. Again, I'm a nutritionist. I love to cook. I'm a functional medicine doctor, but still I have a lot of fun when I'm using ChatGPT. The other thing where I think it comes in well when you want to eat a little bit healthier. So you can say, I'm doing really good, but I really wonder, am I getting the fiber I need? Am I getting these phytonutrients and colorful foods that I need? Once again, you can ask it that information specifically and ask it to help you design and create a plan for you. So that's kind of the food overview category, which I think is a really good buy-in if you're just starting out with using these AI tools. Where else can it help you? It can help you with fitness and your movement. So one of my patients, she's a biohacker. She and I both using a lot of these tools. We love using tools to aid us, right? To kind of amp up our game by not spending too much time on things. So you could tell AI, okay, this is what I'm currently doing for exercise. I go to the gym, and you need to be very specific, right? Because the more specific details that you put in, the more specific information that you can get out. So I'm going to the gym 3 times a week. I do cardio for 20 minutes where I get breathless. Then I'm doing weights. You can say how many repetitions you do, how many sets that you do. And then you could say, this is my fitness plan, but I want you to help me change it up a little bit. Now, again, AI is not going to be able to look at you to be able to give you coaching on how to do the exercises specifically. This is where health fitness coaches come in. And I think they still have, of course, lots of ways that they can be helpful for us. But this can be something that can give you a little bit of a start, right? To see how you're doing. AI can help you with your sleep, right? So one of the things that we know now that sleep is one of the greatest health concerns that we have. It contributes to stress, it contributes to weight gain, it contributes to anxiety, to digestive issues, basically everything if you're not sleeping well. So you could say, okay, I'm having difficulty sleeping at night. This is my bedtime routine. So maybe your bedtime routine is to take a vitamin at night. Maybe there's a certain time you take a shower, or maybe you're on your phone just before you go to bed. But you could say, I really want to get some help for my sleep. You could even say, I want you to do a deep dive on the internet. I want you to research some of the top doctors that discuss sleep, and I want to learn the better sleeping habits. And then you could tell it what you're doing currently, and it will give you tweaks and tips on other things that you may begin to think about, right? So it's there as a little bit of an energy amplifier. Think of it as this way. So all of the things that you would do, you might research online, you might listen to 20 podcasts, but this can actually synthesize the information in a matter of a couple seconds. It's actually really incredible what it does. So these are the ways that this technology is going to be able to help us with our health. We know it's being used in healthcare now. More and more, it's being used in kind of x-ray and diagnostic imaging. For example, now you can get a full body MRI. It's over $3,000. They do it up in Toronto, and they have AI algorithms that scan the whole body. They look at the imaging of the MRI to give output as to what's going on, if you have early signs of a tumor or degeneration. So more and more, especially in the radiology aspect of things, we're going to see this coming into medicine. But when we think about it for personal home use, again, I want you to think of it as a tool. It is not the authority. It is not going to give you all the information that your doctor can give you, but you can do a lot of background research by using AI, right? So it's amplifying what you're aware of, what you're aware of about your body, what you're aware of about all the research that's been done, about all the information that some top doctors across the world have done. But it's still not going to replace your wisdom, right? And so this is a key thing that I want you to remember. There is nothing like you and the healing that you are capable of within you. So no doctor, there's no way that I can heal you, right? You can see 20 specialists. They are not going to be able to heal you, right? They can give you tools, they can give you advice. But the more that you're aware of what's going on in your body, and then the more that you're going to be able to be aware, and I've got lots of other tools out there as well, to be able to look at the stress response in your body. And all of these things are going to give you more tools so that you can activate the energy and the healing within you, right? And this is the greatest medicine that's going to be happening in the next 5-10 years, is how you navigate and activate the natural healing abilities that are within inside you, okay? So as we finish up today, I want you to know that this is just the beginning of using these AI tools. And at the end of the month, January 31st, I'm going to be having a Wise Woman Foundation's masterclass. And part of this masterclass is going to be becoming your doctor of the future. And I'm going to introduce tools like AI, but I'm going to introduce a game plan where we actually look at your life, we evaluate it. I'm going to sit with you for 2 hours to help you connect the dots and looking at what's gone on in your life and how it's beginning to impact your health. And for you to start creating your own roadmap of what your next steps are going to be to get your health in alignment. Because health is wealth. Without it, we are nothing. And all the AI tools in the world, all the robots that are going to be coming, all the AI-driven cars, none of these things are going to replace being able to have a healthy body, knowing how to regulate your nervous system, knowing how to feel good, knowing how to regulate your emotions so that you can just enjoy this wonderful life that we have, this one experience, right? To be able to enjoy it, to live it to the fullest. Because once again, we can live 90 years, but if we're not enjoying those 90 years, why is that so important? So I want you to become the better version of you. And this is what the Wise Women Foundation's class is going to touch on January 31st. So if you want more information, if you want to hear about the class, there'll be a link down below that you can register for it. If you want to, please just follow me. Join my Wise Women's Circle. Remember, that's every Tuesday night where I've got tons of health information that comes out as well. Because I want you to create the best version of you. It takes time. It can take guidance and a little bit of mentorship. But I want you to know that I'm in there to help you. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.